What's up, everybody? Joseph Hadaway here. We're going to start today's video with a question for you. Let's say you're 18, you just finished high school, and you're ready to enter the workforce full-time. Now, that full-time job, your employer offers you a 401k, and you run your budget, you run the numbers, and you decide that you can invest $800 a month into that 401k. And let's say you have an extremely generous employer who's going to match every penny of that $800. So every single month you have $1,600 going into your 401k. Now, a few years later, you're now 40 years old, an 8% rate of return. What's that money worth? About $1.1 million. With some change in there too. So if we 4% rule that means you could be making $45,000 a year from that 401k using the 4% rule. That 1.1 million times 4%. $45,000 out of an investment account, that's pretty good. That's a fire number for a lot of people. And with that said, you can fire, right? You've got the money. You've got $1 million plus portfolio. You've got $45,000 a year investment income. You can fire, right? Or can you? Well, let's look at the numbers. So since it's coming out of a retirement account, that $45,000 a year is going to be taxed as regular income rather than investment earnings, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So that $45,000 is now going to be taxed up to 20% because it's subject to federal, state, and local taxes, and that can be pretty high depending on the tax bracket you're in. Well, then on top of that, because you're not 59 and a half yet, you're only 40 years old, the IRS is going to tack a 10% penalty on the total amount of the distribution on top of the taxes you're already paying. So suddenly that $45,000 a year is looking more like $30,000. And that is a huge decrease. I don't know how you'd make it work. How does anyone make it work? If you're going to lose a third of your investments or a third of your income from your investments every single year just to taxes and penalties, how is FIRE possible? Can you use a 401k to retire early? Should you use a 401k to retire early? Should you invest in your 401k at all if you plan to retire before 60 years old? Well, today we're going to talk about that. Let me go ahead and say here, your 401ks, your 403bs, your Roth IRAs, your traditional IRAs, absolutely 100% belong in your FIRE plan. But they're not going to get you there alone. Simplest way to think about this, your taxable brokerages at places, like your Robinhoods, your Fidelities, whoever you bank with, the mutual funds that you buy straight from Vanguard, whatever it may be, that's what gets you to early retirement. At most, in those accounts, you're paying capital gains and qualified dividend taxes, and in almost every single case, those taxes are way lower than what you're going to be paying in income taxes. There's no contribution limit. They're not tied to an employer, and you can take that money out anytime, whenever you want, with no penalty from the IRS. That is your early retirement account. Your taxable brokerage is your FIRE account that will allow you to retire early and pay until your traditional retirement accounts kick in. I could absolutely just sit here and rant on this for a while. I really could, and someday I might. But let me go ahead and give you my reasons why, even if you're planning to retire early, you need to invest for traditional retirement on top of your FIRE plan. All right, first up on the list is free money. If your employer offers a matching contribution into your 401k or your retirement plan, that is literally free money in your pocket. Let's make an example here. Let's say you have a job and you make even $100,000 a year, and your employer, per your plan document, says that they will match 100% of all contributions up to 3% of salary. So you invest 3%, $3,000 a year. Your employer will then put $3,000 more in there just as a thank you for doing your job. You don't pay any taxes on that now. You will have to pay taxes on it at retirement, but still, that's $3,000 free money, and $3,000 of free money net taxes is still free money. There is literally no downside to getting that money. It's entirely free as a benefit, an employer benefit, and you really can't afford to leave that on the table. Now, I have to throw this out there because I know as of January 1st, 2023, Secured 2.0 came out, was passed by Congress, and paved the way for Roth employer matching contributions that you will be taxed on now, but you'll be not taxed on at retirement. I'll probably end up making a whole nother video just about Secure 2.0 or the changes it made. But as it stands now, Roth employer matching is very, very far from widely available and is still being figured out in a lot of ways, as is the majority of Secure 2.0. We'll talk about that when the time comes, but as of now, I don't feel it's a pressing enough thing to make a full video about. Number 2 on the list, plans don't always work out. Take me, for example. I'm shooting to retire by 35, 40 at the latest. That's my FIRE plan. I plan to do that. That is my goal. However, there are a million and one things that could throw off that plan and keep me from reaching that entirely. Things that are out of my control, such as, like unexpected job loss, prolonged unemployment, a natural disaster that could really do a number on a real estate portfolio, health concerns that keep me from work, or God, even medical expenses. All things that, knock on wood, will never happen to me or you, but totally could, and could really throw a wrench in your wealth building or FIRE plans. Well, the way I see it, even if I never get to retire early, I'm retiring at some point. I don't plan to work until I die. FIRE at 35, FIRE at 40, even FIRE at 58 is a goal. It's something I'm striving for. It's something I do plan to reach, but it's a goal. Retiring at 60 is a non-negotiable. I'm doing that no matter what, and I plan to position myself for it in a way that absolutely guarantees it's happening, because even if I never retire early, I don't want to work until I die. All right, number 3, and the last point I'm going to make on this list is traditional retirement accounts offer tax advantages, tax deductions that other investment accounts just can't match. I mean, firstly, you've got some benefits today. Contributing to a traditional retirement plan reduces your taxable income. I mean, let's just say, for example, you make $45,000 a year at your job and you invest $5,000 toward retirement. Well, your taxable income for the year is now only $40,000. So you're paying less in income taxes and you're saving for retirement. It's a nice little incentive for you there, all by itself. And number 2, a traditional 401k account is entirely tax deferred, meaning you're not paying any taxes on the money you put in there now. Yeah, you'll be paying taxes at retirement, and then there's a lot of things we could say about future tax rates, but again, another video coming in the future. We'll talk all about that. But still, you're reducing your taxable income now in a way that makes sense from a tax planning perspective. Lastly, and another thing I can make a whole nother video about, we gotta talk about Roth. Roth money that you're putting in a 401k or a Roth IRA is money that you are taxed on now, but your deferral and your investment earnings are entirely tax-free at retirement. And tax-free income at retirement? Wow. Nothing out there. No taxable brokerage, no traditional account, nothing, at least here in the US, comes anywhere close to matching that. It is absolutely the most powerful wealth building vehicle out there. Basically, the IRS is allowing you to undermine them directly. There's so much I could say here, but just sum it up as the power of Roth money is absolutely unmatched and unbeatable. If you have the opportunity to take advantage of it, there's very few reasons why you shouldn't. And those are the 3 reasons why I believe that a traditional retirement account should 100% always be a part of your FIRE plan. The advantages they offer on so many levels, and even the fallback plan they offer, you just can't match it with a taxable brokerage or a savings account or really anything like it. There are so many incentives put out there by the government and even for your own wealth building purposes to invest toward traditional retirement that even if you want to retire at 30, 35, 40, there's just too much to miss out on. Hey, but let me know down in the comments, is your 401k part of your retirement plan? Let me ask this. If it's not, why is it? I'd absolutely love to hear what you guys say on this. If you ever head over to the FIRE subreddit, there's always some discourse on this, and hey, maybe I'm just adding my own 2 cents to the pile. Hey, and while you're down there in the comments, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, because I release FIRE, personal finance, side hustle videos every single Friday. Ignore the month-long gap that I'm coming off of right now, but we're making it work. Hit the bell, you're not going to want to miss it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next week.